Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update on the meeting that Donald Trump and Jerome Powell just had. They were touring the current construction on the renovations to the Fed offices. The Palace of Versailles is what they're calling it. Just a massive cost overrun. Trump is trying to use it as clause to be able to force Powell out through a legal congressional way, as Powell refuses to cut. The inflation's under control. The tariff revenue's very impressive. And now it's like a humiliation ritual for Powell. He looks like a little Scrooge, like a midget Scrooge here. Just look at him with the hard hat. And Trump's got Tim Scott, and Tim Scott starts this, but this is humiliation. They're like, hey, dude, it's actually 3.1 billion over. And then Powell's like, hey, you weren't supposed to see that third building. You weren't supposed to see the penthouse. No, this is an amazing clip. Like, you knew that they were springing this on Powell, and Powell is just completely bewildered, and he looks so uncomfortable. And just listen to what Trump says, and Tim Scott said, let's.
The reason why I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses, wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
It's the penthouse.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital plan.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's the third building.
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use. But no, we don't expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
I'm sorry. I don't know why. It's just, it's obviously they're trying to make Powell look bad, and so they include an entirely different building. Trump's just like, no, it's part of the overall project. They're trying to have Powell removed for these cost overruns. It just, how much does it cost to renovate an office? And I saw Eric Trump tweet something. He's like, I could have it done in 900 million. This is ridiculous. It's insane. Oh, we got to see more clips from this.
I think we hear the president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. It's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and you're in charge of the committee.
Indeed. One of the reasons why I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses.
And Tim Scott just gets right into it. Tim Scott's like, all right, let's just get to the overruns. That's why we're removing you with clause. But I wonder if there's any other clips.
Like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates, but other than that, what can I tell you?
Yeah, it is crazy. You look at some of the other countries in this financial situation they're in. All the economic experts, even now the liberal economic experts, see the lower level people that are just like influencers. They say, oh, it's all inflationary. The higher people say, no, they have inflation under control. It hasn't been inflationary. If you look at the projected monthly inflation rate, the Fed core inflation, it's been under the estimate. And it fluctuates, and now it's 2.7. They say, well, it's way up. No, well, this was expected based on the fact that it was down significantly the last time at this year. It's a rolling rate based on the previous year, based on 12 months ago. So the inflation has been down. Even the liberal economic experts say, and now all of them are in agreement. They say, but even the FedWatch tool says there has to be a 93% chance of they say a 93% chance of one Fed cut. You look at any of the analytical data models, you input it and you say, what's the percent chance of a Fed cut? They say 93% chance by the end of the year. But even the FedWatch tool says, well, it's like an 80 or like a 71% chance of 2 Fed cuts by the end of the year. We need minimum 1 Fed cut in September for this crypto bull run. But we'd like to have at least 2 by Thanksgiving. You know, so hopefully that can happen. You know, I don't think Powell's going to be removed. And I know some people now are saying, well, Trump loves Powell because he can just blame Powell for everything. If the economy's doing bad, it's because there's no rate cut. But I do think Trump has earned at least 1 rate cut based on the stabilization of inflation. At least 1. And look, this is just this was funny. Let's be honest. This is just typical Trump. This is what Trump said beforehand, getting ready to head over to the Fed to look at their now $3.1 billion plus construction project. And you can see Tom Tillis and you've got Tim Scott and other people heading over to tour this construction. And so this is the Palace of Versailles 2.0, I guess. Massive construction, multi-billion dollar, classified as a mega project. Because anything over $1 billion, they say, is a mega project. And, I mean, do we have any other clips from this?
Back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman of the deal with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a 0 tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country. So it's great. But they put up, as you could call it, seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's it's a total of $550 billion.
And then you can see this is the article that talks about Anna Paulina Luna accusing Powell of lying under oath, recommending criminal charges. They're trying to get him removed and saying these were the statements. The following 2 statements were untrue. Quote, there's no VIP dining room. There's no new marble. There are no special elevators, just old elevators that have been there. There's no new water features. There's no beehives. There's no roof terrace gardens. So they're arguing that, well, he's significantly upgrading this building. And I mean, if it's $3 billion or whatever it is, 2.5 billion, 2.7, you know, it's an insane amount of money. And look, they're just trying to find a reason to get him removed, let's be honest. And Trump wants to put someone in that more supports his current policy. Yes, Trump did confirm Powell back in his first term. Things are a little bit different now. Trump views the 2024 rate cut of 0.5 in September as politically motivated, because if you remember the inflation situation back then versus what it was just 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know, we've had a much better inflation situation and the economic growth and everything, and they cut then, but they don't cut now, and they're cutting 2 months before an election with liberals in charge, trying to juice up the economy. It's so obvious. And so Trump, he understands that, and he's very angry about it. So we will see what happens, but I just thought it was funny. You know, I just thought it was funny to see Trump kind of wear the hard hat and embarrass Powell and bring out the paper. Yeah, they had that pre-planned. They were bringing out the paper. We're going to blindside him with a $3.1 billion. And then Powell's like, wait, this is a building that was finished 5 years ago. And then Trump's like, yeah, it's part of the overall design on what you guys do here. And I mean, the cost overrun, they're just trying to find ways to remove Powell. And look, we'll see what ends up happening here. Either way, guys, make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.